I want to make sure you're in the right place. I train and mentor real estate agents who want to broker off-market multifamily deals without requiring joining a large brokerage. So multifamily brokerage is the easiest path to becoming an entrepreneur because the amount of money you need to start is very, very, very small. The rewards are huge, and anybody can do it if you have the right training and the right mentorship. In this webinar, I'm going to go over 5 keys that I use to broker off-market multifamily deals that earn 6-figure commissions, and I do that with a consistent pipeline, and these 5 keys will help you get started. So my last 3 commissions I've earned were $286,000 on 64 units, $215,000 on 296 units, and $200,000 on 42 units. I currently have 6 deals in the pipeline in addition to this that are worth at least $200,000 in commission each. And over the past 5 years, I've consistently closed 4 deals per year, regardless of COVID, competition, and being a one-man shop. And I did this by creating a repeatable, systematic approach to lead generation, which is the hardest thing to get as a broker, leads. So let's check out some of my student success stories. Jeff Kim, one of my students, just closed 863 units and earned $1.4 million on the 3rd largest sale in the Mid-Atlantic in 2020. I'm going to show you that sales report right now, which is public information. So I'm in CoStar, which is the largest multifamily database company in the world. And you can see it says in suburban Washington, older apartments sell for $139 million. Okay, it's called Dale Forest. You can see right here, here's the record of the sale. And if I go all the way to the bottom of this, you can see Jeff Kim and Alan Manish of Ideal Realty Group brokered the transaction. Okay, and this is from October 26, 2020. So this is the outlier. This is my best student. I don't think every student's going to get this success, but he took the training, and I'm super excited to share Jeff's success with you. Second is Bobby. Bobby has $87,000 in a commission on a 24-unit project, and he used my systematic approach of calling his farm. Within 3 months, he's earning this $87,000. Nate is a unique student I have. He didn't want to be a broker. He just wanted to be a passive investor. He took the course to understand how to analyze deals and determine what's a good deal versus a bad deal, and now he invests passively. So he makes a very good income of 6 figures a year, and he uses about 2/3 of that income and invests it into multifamily. Right now, he's earning an 18% return through different investors, and he used my program to find the investors. I mentored him through that process. I told him which deals and which sponsors I think are quality sponsors, and now he has passive income. And he's going to do this every year for the rest of his life and build up that nest egg. So full transparency, not everybody makes it in sales, right? If I give 5 people the same training, maybe 2 or 3 of them make it and the other 2 just aren't cut out for sales. But these students had 0 existing training in multifamily, started from scratch, but I did help them and mentor them through those closings. All these students have made money using the system that I teach, and if you're serious about this and you want to join our program, then I'm going to give you a link at the end of this webinar where you can book a call, you'll talk to one of my teammates and see if this is a good mutual fit. My name is Cameron Manish, and I'm the president of Cameron's Commercial Real Estate. We are a boutique, one-man brokerage shop that deals in off-market multifamily deals, and I'm based in the state of Maryland. And over the past 20 years, I spent my time learning, failing, succeeding, and then training agents that close 60,000 units in multifamily at a boutique brokerage by the name of idealrealty.com. Specifically, over the last 10 years, I've spent my time training new agents until our office was at maximum capacity. Then I opened up Cameron's Commercial Real Estate because I wanted to build a platform that scaled and I could teach a whole bunch of students. So what happened? The pandemic happened, and now I'm forced to do this online. So I created this course to teach the existing agents that I'm hiring for my personal brokerage, and I'm sharing this exact training and mentorship, which is more important, with you. So everything I just said is verifiable with Google, or you can go to my LinkedIn or query. All my closings are public information. And fun fact, I am the name behind Cameron Seafood. My family owns the largest Maryland crab company, CameronSeafood.com, and that's an easy way to see who I am and where I'm based. I've been here for 20 years and I'm not going anywhere. Okay, now that you know who I am, let's talk about who this is for and who this isn't for, right? So if you don't have 1 year of savings to get you through the learning hurdle, you gotta go through the program, you gotta get the mentorship, you gotta prospect using the done-for-you tools that I provide, and you gotta close a deal. Deals can take 3 to 5 months, closer to 4 to 5 months during the pandemic. That's why we recommend having 12 months of savings. So if you don't have 12 months, this is not for you. If you're a beginner to real estate and you're not committed to taking this seriously as a full-time career, spending all your time and effort building relationships, understanding all the players, getting to know all the products, and committing yourself, then this is not for you because it simply won't work. However, I will say I do have some students that are not brokers, they're investors, and they took the training that I provide in order to be a better investor and understand the difference between a bad deal and a good deal. So if you're not good at sales and you don't like the phone and you don't like networking with people, then this business simply isn't for you. This is a relationship business. So if you think that you're just gonna spend $3,000 on some course and that you don't need mentorship, that you don't need to spend time calling folks and building relationships, and that you just wanna take this program, get my mentorship, and then immediately do a deal, then this isn't for you. So this is a marathon, not a sprint, and if you're not willing to dedicate the time to learn and to earn, then this probably isn't for you and you should exit this webinar. Now please keep in mind, I'm not suggesting you're gonna get exactly my results or my students' results or my agent's results, but I can promise you I'm going to give you 100% of the same training, and I'm gonna do my best to personally coach you. It will be me that's training you, it will be me that's guiding you. You'll get all the experience that I got from being part of a team that had 60,000 units transacted, and I commit to training you. So the first group of people that this program is great for is existing real estate agents. They can be residential or commercial, but they have their license, they just wanna learn how to do bigger deals with bigger commissions, and they wanna get mentorship from someone that's been there and done that for 20 years and is a top performer in the United States. That's the first group. The second group is aspiring real estate agents who are getting their license but need a blueprint and a plan in order to close deals. They don't know, do they join a brokerage? Do they start a brokerage? Can they do multifamily at their residential? They need a plan so they can hit the ground running and fast track their success. And the third would be investors. They either have money and want to invest in deals and they use this coaching program to learn what's the difference between a bad deal and a good deal, or they want to invest passively. Maybe they make 6 figures a year and they want to invest in multifamily deals, and I show them how to do it and where to do it, and that's why they take this course. So those are the 3 archetypes of students that are successful in my program. So the main reason agents fail is because they don't have these 5 steps and they don't have a mentor to get them through that initial hump to get them some success. After that, that snowballs and they can do it on their own. Although to this day, 20 years later, I still have a mentor. So I do recommend ongoing mentorship, but that's the key. It's having a goal, it's having a plan, and it's having a mentorship with the training in order for you to fulfill your end goal. Okay, now let's start with the 5 keys that my students, agents, and I have used to close 60,000 units over the last 20 years worth $6 billion right from a desk. So key number 1 is that you don't need to be part of a big multifamily brokerage, you simply need deal flow. You gotta think of it this way. You're an entrepreneur that simply needs a real estate license and a system to generate leads to get deal flow, which will then put you in business. So to reiterate, a pipeline of off-market deals or listed deals is the key to you staying in business. So if you work by yourself, or you're at a small residential firm, or you open up your own firm like I did, it's very hard to get exclusive listings at first. So I teach the off-market deals as the key to starting, and then as you build some reputations in closing using this systematic approach, it's easier to get listings, which beget more listings, and onward and onward. So key number 2 is that you need the right mentor to survive the first 2 years in this business. This includes having a mentor like moi, or having a agent at your firm, a top producer that'll let you shadow their deals so you can get that initial experience. And there's also a difference in a course and a coaching program. I have a coaching program, which is the mentorship, which is the ongoing support from someone that's been part of a team that's closed 60,000 units. And all those transactions, all those objections, all the emails, all the sales, all of that experience fast tracks you. And you can save years, maybe 10 years of having the right mentor to help you get past the first hard 2 years. So one of my students, Jeff, the way he found me was he contacted me on Reddit. He found me on Reddit and he asked for my coaching and training. So after I agreed, we provided him with everything. Done for you emails, phone scripts, all the legal documents you need, like commission agreements and confidentiality agreements and NDAs. We provided all of that, right? And that's what my program provides. It gives you all of that. And we provided him the ongoing mentorship because on day one, he had no clue. He needed the education, then he needed the training, and he needed to see it happen. So we reviewed deals with him, and that's what helped him close the third largest deal in the entire Mid-Atlantic in 2020. So all the tools that we provided Jeff and that I provided in my coaching program took 20 years to develop, right? And they're all tested. These are stuff that we used from existing closings. We looked at emails that got the deal. We looked at emails that closed the deal, that found the buyer, that found the seller, all the phone stuff that we did, and we put it together in a package that's just done for you. Just change the name and boom, you can just send them off. Point number 3 is we're gonna work on off-market deals from individual owners. This is low-hanging fruit that the institutional players, the biggest players, are not targeting. So we're gonna go after out-of-town owners and mom and pop owners, or high net worth individuals that might have one or multiple properties that they own. So with off-market deals, the commissions are higher than exclusive listings. For one, you're not competing with 2 or 3 other brokers typically, so you don't have to compete on the lowest price. And 2, the deals close up to a month faster than an exclusive listing because you're bypassing that marketing process and setup process, which should take an additional 30 days. And off-market deals are much, much easier to close when you're a one-man brokerage because it's very hard to convince a group of investors or owners that a one-man brokerage is going to adequately nationally market a property. So you might be thinking, well, that's fine. How do I find buyers and sellers? Now, I'll teach you in multifamily, it's easy to find buyers. They're a dime a dozen because you're selling a cash flowing deal, and everybody that has money wants to invest in something that's stable, has cash flow, and good tax shelters. So they just naturally choose multifamily. So unlike residential, there's always multiple buyers for any multifamily property that's cash flowing. And the larger the property, the more it scales. And the more it scales, the more money chases it. So my process shows you how to find all the buyers and all the sellers so you can eliminate that worry. So the 4th key is that you always provide value to investors. If I were to e-blast my entire investor list and just have the phrase, "Will you sell? Let me help you," I can guarantee you with 100% certainty that I would get 0 replies and it would actually ruin my credibility. That's not what this business is. What I typically do is I provide data or value about the property, about a sale comp, about interest rates dropping, about COVID, about 1031 laws, some sort of value to the client. And it becomes their idea that they should sell and, oh, well, Cameron brought me this data and he provided this value, so I'm gonna give the property to him. Now, secondly, a lot of bad brokers will just get information about a property, the financials, and simply forward it to a potential buyer and sit back and just focus on commission. That is not providing value. That is being a paper pusher, and that is a very poor job at being an agent. So what you wanna do is figure out what value you can provide them. And that might mean underwriting the property, learning the potential value, finding the value add in it, and then selling that to the client and then letting them say, this makes sense. You provided me with facts. and now I want to take a decision based on that. You see the difference between that and saying, hey, will you sell? Now, if they sell, it's not over, because if they sell and they have capital gains tax, they might need to 1031. They might need to buy another property to defer capital gains tax, which is another commission opportunity for you. And you see how that creates a second deal, and then you might have to show them multiple properties, which could create a third or fourth deal. And if they don't buy all of them, then you have a pipeline. So you see how it keeps generating potential deals. So all this providing value means you simply research before you call somebody, because you don't want to make rookie mistakes. Another way to look at providing value is you always research the property, the seller, the buyer, the potential, the market, all of that prior to putting your foot in the door and saying, will you sell a property? Because that's not the right way. You provide them the data and let it be their idea that they should sell a property or refinance a property, because you've given them facts. Now I want to give you an example that's actually happened this week that created a new deal for me, okay? And that deal is going to be at least $200,000. So what I did was I looked at the proposed Biden tax law changes, and he is proposing to eliminate the 1031 law, and we think that legislation will happen somewhere in the 6 to 9 month mark, somewhere in there. So I used this data, and it was a fact sheet about the law changes, and I sent it to a client. And they responded, well, Cameron, maybe I should consider selling and closing prior to that legislation so they can't retroactively eliminate my ability to sell the property. I don't want to hold this property another 4 years, 8 years, 10 years. So I could have just called the client and said, hey, there's a 1031 law, will you sell? And there's a chance he would have said yes. Or I could have called him and said, hey, will you just sell the property? And he would have been like, what? No, I love cash flow. I'm not selling this. But what I did was I provided market data, leverage in the market, real-time data, and I provided them that, and I let these type A personalities think, this is my own idea to sell, and this is the broker that provided me that value. Let's see if he can sell my property. And that's what happened. So the fourth key was always provide value to anybody that you're calling. Now the fifth and last key is persistency and consistency in phone calls and emails. So for me, every week, every month, every year, I am selling. I audit my time and I prospect, I nurture, and I follow up consistently. And I do mean consistently with clients. That means everybody in my farm. That means that I'm prioritizing my 9 to 5 to be on the phone. I don't want my competition calling. I want to be there, and I audit my time. And what that means is that I audit my day to do any busy work after 9 to 5 hours. So that could be flyer creation, underwriting a property, or even touring a property. I try to do that after work. What that does is simply allows me to outfarm my competition, be the first there, and I have a system where I always follow up every phone call with an email, and then I set myself a reminder to follow up to that email and phone call until I get an answer from the potential client. So what you can do is you can set Google Calendar reminders, you can use your CRM, your customer relation management software, and you can set reminders, whatever works for you, where you always follow up and you're always selling and always closing. In my program, I provide all my students with these done for you emails from all the closings that I had. For example, I'll go back to my last 25 deals and I'll say, what emails did I initially send to get a client to sell with me, whether it's off market or listing, and I provide that for you. All you do is fill out the name and you can send them to your farm. Do the same thing with phone conversations. I try to reenact exactly what happened and take you from A to Z, exactly real case studies, life examples that you can apply directly to your market and your closings. And the last follow-up technique is I take copious notes on every interaction. Every phone call, I notate. Every tour, I notate criteria, what they like, what they didn't like. When I tour property, I have a pad of paper or my iPhone, and I'm jotting down everything that I see, learn, touch, and feel so I can replicate that and give it to a potential buyer, the seller. I want them to know how much research I have. I want them to know that I care and that I'm doing the best possible job remembering all facts, all figures, and that I'm organized, I have a systematic approach, and I am the best person to represent them because I have a foolproof system that I've used for thousands and thousands of units that I've closed. I want to give you an example of the persistency and consistency and how it's going to earn me $200,000 in the year 2021. So I had a client that I've been contacting for almost a year and a half. And up until this last month, I've not got anywhere with him. But I followed up with him with a phone and email every quarter, like clockwork, up until the 16-month mark. And all of a sudden, with lowering interest rates and Biden's scare of eliminating 1031s, I gave them the data, and the seller agreed that I'm the right person to market their property. They gave me the opportunity, and I now have it under contract. And all of that, I would have lost that opportunity if I wasn't consistent, persistent, and systematic in my approach to targeting. I knew what to say and how to say it. And in my program, I give you exactly the same emails and scripts that I use to make that $200,000. So let's recap the 5 keys that we just covered. So the first one is that you don't need to be part of a big brokerage company, you simply need deal flow. The second is that you need the right mentor to help you last the first hard 2 years. The third is that we're going to stick to low-hanging fruit and work on off-market deals from individual owners. The fourth is that we're always going to provide value to your clients, and we're not going to just be simple paper pushers. We're going to be sophisticated investors that underwrite a deal, tour the comps, look at what's happening in the market, understand it, churn it, and provide that data to prospective clients. And last but not least, the 5th key is you're going to be consistent and persistent in your phone calls and emails. 9 to 5, you're calling, you're talking, you're meeting, you are communicating, you're building relationships, and you're following up until you get an answer from that client. So if you made it this far, you're obviously very serious about a career as a multifamily broker and or investor. And if you're serious about learning and having mentorship by me on a weekly basis to help you understand the business and help you close your first deals, then you need to book a call right now. You're going to fill out a quick questionnaire so we have some background information, and then you're going to book a call with one of my team members, and we're going to see if this is a mutual fit. And then from there, you can sign up for the multifamily coaching program, which you can find at multifamilycoachingprogram.com. I have FAQs there. Then from there, you can roll into the coaching program, which is a set of self-paced videos with weekly mentorship from me. And I'm here to help you succeed, and I really want this for you. So come join us, book a call right now, and let's begin.